and I slept all night. So I jumped up and I freaked right out. I was like, Kyle, I don't hear her. Like, do you think she's okay? It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, she hasn't cried or anything. I was like, should I check on her?
We are who we are. Why don't I be me and you be you? We're spreading color around us. We're lighting up the sky, it's what we do. We shouldn't care about anyone or anything that brings us. Keep on doing what you do, doing what you do, doing what you do, what you do, what you like to do.
Hey, my name is Dallas. Welcome to my channel where I talk about everything mom life, parenting, fitness, marriage, and everything that entails. Now, the biggest challenge that I have had having kids is sleeping. They do not like to sleep. Like, if they came out of the womb knowing how to sleep, I didn't have to teach them, then I would consider having more. Maybe. After my first daughter, Mila, made me feel like a walking zombie, literally for months. I was like, nope, I'm not doing it again. I knew I wanted to have another one, so I was like, nope, I'm not doing it again. I'm going to change this. I have to find a way to sleep train properly and learn all about it. I tried the cry it out method, but I never kept consistent with it, so it did not work. It was just too hard for me with the first one. Just always kept questioning, like, oh, is she okay? Maybe she's crying for a reason and I have to check on her, and it was just too hard, too much. So it did not work. And because it was so heartbreaking for me the first time, I was like, oh, I just let it go, and I was like, she'll eventually learn how to sleep, right? That was a big mistake. Then came along my second daughter, Bianca. Naturally, she was a better sleeper, but I did a few things that I think helped a lot. So I'm going to share with you a few of those things. Numero uno, I kept her in our room longer. I remember my friend telling me, like, around 5 months is when they start to become aware that they're in your room, and it'll be harder and harder to move them out the longer that you wait. So I was like, that's not gonna happen. Right before 5 months, I moved Mila into her own room, and she was still waking up about 2 or 3 times every like 3 hours, I think by then. She was waking up every 3 hours in the night for a feeding. So she got so used to being fed to be put to sleep, and that was the next problem. But with Bianca, I decided to keep her in our room a little longer, because where we are now, the hallway is a little farther, and plus I wanted her and Mila to share a room, and I needed them both to be sleeping through the night. So I waited a little bit longer. I waited until 7 months with Bianca, and I feel like that helped because she was around us, so she kind of saw us sleeping through the night and kind of got that correlation with night and sleeping. She was sleeping in the playpen at this point because the bassinet got too small. But yeah, I think it helped just keeping her in our room a little longer. Number 2 is that I let her cry it out for at least 3 or 4 days. So around this time, she was about 4 months when I started this, 4 or 5 months when I started doing this. I wanted to start sleep training earlier because it's easier when they're younger. It is much harder the older that they get because they're more aware. So I was like, I'm going to do this when she's younger, and was able to kind of close the doors and just put on a show that kind of blocked out the noise, which was sad. It was very hard at first, but it was much easier the second time around because I was more confident that she was fed, was burped, she is comfortable, and I was like, she does not need anything else, so she'll be fine. So it was much easier this time around than with Mila. So what I would do was that at this point, she was too young yet to have gotten used to getting rocked to sleep or being fed to sleep and stuff like that. As soon as she was drowsy but not yet asleep, I would lay her down and then I would walk out of the room. The first 2 nights were the hardest because she cried a lot. Probably about like 30 to 45 minutes she cried on and off. For the first 5 minutes I would go in, console her, and then I would walk out. Next one, I would wait like 7 minutes, and then just keep adding on time before I went in and consoled her. I did that for the 3 to 4 days that it took, but the difference was that with Mila, I could not walk in and console her because it would just make her cry even more, and it would just make it even worse. And with Bianca, it would calm her down, and then I'd put her back down, and she would be calm for a little bit, and then she would start crying. But I knew that I could walk in every couple minutes and calm her down. But with Mila, I couldn't. That was even harder for me. So I was like, again, I can't do it. Okay, so this one I was afraid of because I feel like, I don't know, whenever I hear put a baby to sleep earlier and it will help them to sleep longer, I was like, I don't know, because I don't know. It just doesn't logically match up in my head. But let me tell you, I think that this was the game changer. One of my friends recommended to me this blog that talked about sleep training and stuff like that, and it's called, I will put it here, but it's called We Be Dreaming. Basically talked about putting the baby to sleep earlier, and it even said like as early as, I think it was like 5 or 5:30, and I was like, okay, I will try like 6 o'clock, because I think around that time I was putting her to sleep the same time I was putting Mila down, and that was around 8. And so I was like, I'll try 6 o'clock. We'll go from there. Worked like right away. We went and did the same nighttime routine. I bathed her, put on her clothes, read a book, and I would just rock her and then put her down, walk out of the room, and listen. Okay, so around 7 months is when I moved her to her own room, because I tried sharing a room with Mila. That was a disaster. But let me know in the comments below if you guys want to hear how it went trying to share a room with the 2 kids. Also, while you're at it, you might as well like, subscribe. I'll give you a minute. All right. Now, I put her to sleep at 6 o'clock. Listen, the day that she like slept all through the night, she was in her own room, and we didn't have the baby monitor set up yet. I woke up around 7, so she slept from like 6 to like after 7. And I woke up at 7, and then I realized like it was light outside, and I slept all night. So I jumped up and I freaked right out. I was like, Kyle, I don't hear her. Like, do you think she's okay? It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, she hasn't cried or anything. I was like, should I check on her? And so I walked in and checked on her, and she was there. She was fine. She was still sleeping. But I was freaking out. I was like, ugh. But thankfully she was good, and she slept through the night. I was like, finally, oh my goodness, this is life-changing. Number 4 is have white noise or something to signal bedtime. So a routine is great. Routine is definitely recommended. A difference was that I actually got a white noise machine for Bianca, which I started when she was in our room. So I started that probably around 5 months. I think that I started incorporating the white noise. And with Mila, I never really had a white noise machine or anything like that to block out the noise. She was always good with sleeping through noise, but I think that would have helped. As soon as Bianca hears the white noise and she's comfortable in her room, like she knows we're in here, I start rocking her a little bit, and then I'll lay her down. She automatically just goes to sleep. And I think the white noise is calming for her, and it's just another signal, hey, it's time to go to sleep, it's bedtime. Number 5, the last one, is before she could roll over, swaddle. So with Mila, I feel like the first one is always like a trial and error. I feel like the second one, you just like, okay, I know I need to do this. So with Mila, I swaddled her a couple times, but I don't know. I can't remember why I didn't keep up with it, or why I wasn't consistent with it. I don't know if like she just seemed not to like it. With Bianca, I did it consistently, and that helped a lot, because whenever they're sleeping or whatever, they jerk a lot because they're not used to being outside of the womb. The womb like keeps them closed in and cozy. A swaddle helps with that and doesn't jerk them out of their sleep, and it keeps her sleeping for longer. So only do it until they can roll over, which was I think like 6 months or something, 5 months, I don't know. But up until then, I noticed a difference with Mila and Bianca in terms of their nap times. Mila would have long nap times, so she'd usually sleep like 3 or 4 hours throughout the day. She would keep waking up through the night. Bianca, with her nap times, she doesn't nap that long, like an hour and a half the most. I do not regret sleep training with the second one, because the first one I did regret not sleep training. So I hope this helped, and let me know below if you guys have tried any of these and how sleep training has gone for you. If you plan on sleep training with your kids, if you're having kids, just let me know. I'm curious. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Peace and love, guys. Bye.